Hello. Welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's number one mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jay Golan, here once again with my mother, adjusting her microphone.
I know. Like, it's kind of weird. There we go.
We're
Hello.
back. Sunday nights, per usual now. We're recording this. It's 6:24 here, 28 here in Argentina, 4:28 Eastern, just before tip of the Hawks game, so you won't get any intel on that. But at the time of recording this, Celtics are 12-4, first in the Atlantic Division, first in the East, first in the NBA, but second in East Group C for this year's in-season tournament. Quite an interesting week here in Celticsville, I would say. Lots to go over. 4 games, 2-2. Let's start a week. Last week, 1 week ago today, win at the Grizzlies 102-100. Can you remember back to that one? What initial thoughts, Mom? What do you got?
Ugly. It was ugly. I thought it was ugly.
Yeah.
Oh, it was ugly. I thought second half was really ugly, but I just thought it was ugly. Yeah, I thought Missoula was right. We didn't deserve to win that game. I thought the Grizzlies actually played a pretty good game.
Yeah, they played hard.
I don't know. We just looked lackadaisical. I think we went in with that same mentality that we weren't going to have to work very hard. We didn't shoot over. I mean, Jaylen Brown was 25% from three, and bad. He was terrible. Absolutely terrible. It was just bad. That was the second half. Sorry. He was 31%, but 14 from three.
Yeah. Porzingis was awesome, per usual.
He saved us. And Sam Hauser. Wasn't this the game? Sam Hauser was also awesome. 5 for 7.
I actually thought Tatum played pretty well this game, too. He was quiet, which is good. Yeah. A quiet Tatum game where you can get a quiet 20, shoot efficiently is good. I mean, 20 is a little lower than what he wants to get, but I thought he was Grizzlies quietly efficient.
Second half, especially, but I think the Grizzlies played good defense on him. I will give them that credit. They played very well on him. I thought
he was patient and distributed it and kind of, let the other guys handle their business, which is what you should do when you're being keyed in on. 9
rebounds. He had a decent game.
He was just efficient, quiet, still scored 20, I thought.
Yeah. I just thought second half we fell into our same
poor shooting.
Yeah.
A lot of
not great ball movement. We just didn't look great. I don't know. I don't know if we just were playing at their level. I think it was a lucky win personally, but
I mean, I wouldn't say a lucky win. I would say it could have gone either way, and it's not like they played great. I mean,
they're not a good team. They're simply just not. I think that was where, Bain did a great job. I thought they had a couple people.
I liked Aldama. Aldama had his moments.
Yes, he had some great shooting from outside. Agreed. He had a good game as well. But all in all, they just didn't feel like a great team. We just didn't play like we normally do. I didn't think think our level was, we met their level. That's the feeling that I got.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's my take on that game. It was a weird game. One of the first ones I think I felt as though that I watched anyway, that I felt as though we were really discombobulated at times on offense. I don't know. It just wasn't pretty. And like I said, Jaylen Brown had a terrible offensive game. Terrible. And defensive. He was just out of it, I thought.
Which I think is starting to become a concerning theme.
Yes.
But we'll get... Yeah, we can switch gears. That one, not too much time. I think there's a lot of talk about some of these other games, so we will keep it moving. The next one, especially, even Celtics on the back-to-back, to give them a little credit, but they lose in overtime, 121-118 to the Charlotte Hornets.
Carry. Go ahead. You start. What was your take?
There's just no reason to lose this game, truly.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into some of these other games too, but the worst position it seems that the Celtics can be in right now is up 12 with like 4 minutes to go. what happens? We just like try to like we just play to lose when we're up like 8-12. There's like 4 minutes left. We're just like, let's waste all the time and jack up a three and let the other team come down and score. And now it's 8 and we'll just jack up a three. The other team hits a three, it's 5. And there's still plenty of time left. It's like we're not like we start wasting time so early and run no offense. And it's like
second
same
half
thing happened in the Bucks game too, where it's like begging these teams to come back. And in this case, they did. They hit shots down the stretch. They had no business losing this game.
LaMelo Ball is a fun player. He is such a fun player.
Sensational.
I don't know. There's just moments where, and he had a lull in this game too.
Yes.
He came back later, but
we can spoil it. He's my player of the week. Yeah. He was unbelievable.
So fun to watch. So fun to watch.
He's so effortless. And I think his
defense is getting better, personally. I think he's working harder on defense.
Yeah, agreed. I thought a couple possessions where he really put it on people. I think. Yeah. I would love to see him on a team that isn't the Hornets because
yes. When I've got to say, Hayward is one of your starters, right? And I will say most of the game non-existent. He was non-existent. It was almost as though he wasn't out there. He had a couple of big hoops later in the game that helped him out.
But he just looks old. Oof.
Oh my God, slow
and old.
And he's one of their starters. Brutal. So that really is a telltale sign, because for most of the game that you were watching, you were like, wait a minute, what has Hayward been doing? Like he was non-existent. And he played quite a few minutes and started for them. So when he's one of the starters, that's I think a telltale sign.
Agreed. I would love to see LaMelo on another team, because it's just, I mean, there's already kind of questions about his, his kind of desire to win, and being with a ragtag group of nobodies constantly doesn't help that. I mean,
Miles Bridges was not good. I didn't think
until he had that stupid shot at the end. But,
exactly. I mean, he hit clutch, but Hayward had a couple of clutch.
Yeah.
And our team. Okay, so Tatum started out super hot, which I don't necessarily think is a good thing for us. When he scores 30 something points in the beginning, I just think it makes the rest of them stagnant. And then I think this is the team that finally double teamed him in the second half, because in the second half he was shut down, and I think they collapsed on him extremely well. And I just don't think anybody else could really pick up the slack. I think our offense was just off, absolutely off.
I mean, again, we live and die by the three constantly.
Yeah.
Hauser 1 for 9 from 3, Porzingis 1 for 8 from 3, Holiday 1
this
for 3
was a
from
game
3.
Peyton Pritchard
Brown,
kept us
0
in
for 3, 5 from 3. He was great. Yeah,
Peyton did a really good job.
Too.
Yeah, he was a plus 16. I mean, he was one of our shining moments. 33 minutes in this game he played, and I thought,
with all that considered, we were winning the whole game. And we just begged them to come back with poor decisions down the stretch. It was like we just wanted the game to be over, and we just tried to run out the clock. We're rolling the ball down the court, wasting time. It's like run an offense and score points at the end of the game, and you win. Like all you had to do was score like 4 more points.
But again, Jaylen Brown shot 29%. He was 5 for 17, 0 for 5 at 3. I mean, he offensively, again, not a great.
There's a Jaylen Brown conversation I think is bubbling within Celtics Nation on Twitter and stuff about his lack of cohesion with the other guys.
I just think I think the whole contract is getting inside his head. And I think he is one that probably does read what people say about him, because I think his public image is very important to him. I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really think he's getting in his own head.
Yeah.
I just do. And I think when he doesn't try, when he doesn't, just play good defense, at this point, you want to win a championship. Stop reading whatever's out there and play the best game you can. Like,
no one falls asleep weak side defense more than him. It's unbelievable.
Yes. So pick up your lack of offense on defense, because he's not even doing that at times.
You should listen to that Bill Simmons podcast I sent you, because they talk all about this, about how he needs to buy into a role where it's more doing the dirty work stuff. And that's really kind of
Yes, absolutely.
where he can shine. And he can still have it. I mean, like, we'll get to the next game against the Bucks where he's on fire and he can have his moments, but when
First
you're
half
not having your
only.
moment, yes,
First
but
half
exactly.
only.
When you're not
And
having
then
your
he
moments,
became a
you need
bubblehead
to
in the
stop.
yeah.
Yes. And then you
Yeah.
need to stop. You need to lay
Yes.
off and know that when you missed your last 3 shots, a sidestep 3 is not the best shot in this moment right now.
100%.
Have your first half and then lay 100%. Off.
So yeah.
Pick your spots.
So the Hornets game was, I think, somewhat payback for the previous Grizzlies game. I think we came into this game.
It's not a bad way to see it. I mean,
I don't know. Like, again, sort of came into this game.
Just no business losing this game or winning the whole time. You just 100%. Close it out.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can switch gears now to the big one because I feel like a lot of these themes kind of come through. Mm-hmm. Big night. You were there in the Garden. Bucks Celtics. How was the crowd, Mom? In the arena.
Excellent. Oh, it was excellent. Yeah. It was a great.
Sounded great.
Of course, this is a
playoff
big
vibes.
matchup. Big matchup.
You
Night
could hear
before
it on
Thanksgiving.
TV too.
Yeah.
It just sounded like the vibes were playoff vibes. Day before Thanksgiving. Everyone has the day off. It just felt like a big game start to finish.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great game, I thought. And for the most part, the Celtics came out, I thought, with a lot of energy. I thought
the first half we were
played well.
On fire.
Which, you know what? If we could only bring that to the other teams, like if we could only bring, when we play the Bucks and we play the Sixers, we have an energy that we don't have with other teams. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's just because we know we're going to play them in the one of these teams, but they came out with energy. I thought they looked much better than they had, probably coming off the terrible Memphis and the loss. Now they were ready to go. So yes, I thought they played incredibly well. I thought so. Drew has not been good offensively in general, even in this game. Yeah, he has struggled. He doesn't take a lot of shots, rightly so, but he has struggled. Mm-hmm. I thought that his defense at times on Giannis was tremendous.
Yeah, I
think he slowed him down in this game for us. It really is. I truly do. And I questioned him on the big guy. And they did take turns. I'm glad he wasn't the only one on him all the time.
Of course.
But I just think he really helped us in this game and slowed Giannis down. Giannis was not himself. Agree. He was not himself in this game. That when it's a close game, I'm going to take over. It's almost like he's pulled a little Luka and stepping back slightly so that other people can step up. And he wants to win that championship this year. So he's trying to build the people around him. I almost feel that, when it was a close game. I do. Mm-hmm. I think there's something different about the way he's playing. But I do think Drew was key on him. But in the end, he's like, he only shot 10 foul shots. I mean, so he just was not himself for a close game. I didn't think.
Well, I was gonna say, do you think there's any mental kind of mind games there? How many times had Drew gone to him at practice and he knows his moves and it's his former team? Do you think there's? I don't know if the's like a weird mental block where he's like, now this guy's guarding me, like in a big game. There was. It's gotta be weird.
There is something
chip on
different.
Drew's shoulder to be like, you replaced me with this guy. Like, I think there was definitely a part of probably on both of their parts of like, oh man, not only did we trade you, but now you're gonna guard me. Just like for a good chunk of the game, it's like we're gonna go not only just be on separate teams, but head to head. I'm gonna guard you one-on-one. Like
I thought he was very good on him. Yes,
I thought so too, and I think it was. Good on, we give Missoula a lot of slack, but I think that was a good, clearly that was a thing. You're going to guard Giannis. I mean, that was pretty obvious that was going to be the thing to start the game.
And he does it so, I thought he did it so, not elegantly, but gracefully. Like he's not a, bull in a china shop, play hard. Kind of like when you watch Grant Williams on Giannis. And that bumping and that whatever. He just finesse. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
He just has a finesse and an intelligence on defense that really shines through. And I thought this game, for some reason, Giannis was just not himself. It just seemed like he was the one. One thing that did annoy me a little bit is I think Damian Lillard is a great player. I didn't think our defense was that great on him. And this will
I
be
mean,
my
we shut him down most of the
theme.
game.
I
Till the
mean,
end
I just
there.
think he didn't shoot very well in
Mhm.
general. I mean, he was okay.
I mean, he was foul hunting a lot. He was
Yeah,
flailing around, and
yeah, yeah.
it was a
But
little
in the
ridiculous
beginning
on
of
his
the
part.
game, I don't know. There were moments where I didn't think our defense was very good. And that's something that I'm going to carry a theme for these 4 games is I think our defense is struggling in general. And the next game that we're going to talk about, I do. I think we have a problem on defense. I don't think we're gritty enough right now. And I don't think we work as hard as we should on defense in
Yeah.
general. And I think even in this game that showed. I thought Brooke Lopez played extremely
He
well.
kept them in the game. He was the only guy that was keeping
And he
them in
did
the
the last
game.
time. Like we were watching him warm up, and that guy can shoot. Like he's a good shooter. He really
underrated for sure. He's a
Yeah,
tank.
big guy,
He
and
kept them in the game for long stretches where he was
Agreed.
the only guy that could do anything.
28 points. He was their high
Yeah.
scorer.
Yeah.
I
No, he
just
was
thought
really
he
good.
played a great game.
I will be honest, coming out of this game, I do feel very good about our chances versus the Bucks.
Agreed. If everyone's healthy.
They have no defenders for our main guys. Who's guarding Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? They don't have any guys. Like you just do not have those guys. And even who's guarding Derek White, who's Damian Lillard, it's not going to happen. I mean, Porzingis was a huge X factor in the first half. The alley oops. I mean, they couldn't. I mean, Brooke Lopez isn't athletic enough to, and you could say that Porzingis isn't big enough to guard Brooke Lopez at the same time. But we just, especially in the first half, we looked faster. We looked more athletic. We looked more skilled. We just imposed ourselves on them, and they did crawl their way back. Which, as I've been talking about, it just. When we have a lead on these teams, it just seems like we play to lose. We just try to waste time, and we're just not taking good shots, just trying to hunker down. And
readable Jaylen dribbles around out front. Jason Tatum dribbles around out front. Then one of them ends up taking the shot. And inevitably, this team reads, they double team. Like they know what's going to happen. There's no surprise when Jason Tatum is dribbling around what's going to happen. And he is getting better. He is taking less shots, and he is getting more assists and passing out of it. So I do give him some credit that way, but both of them are readable right now. Like when they're going to go in, when they're going to go in, when teams know, but all teams know when to.
The first half, we don't do that.
Agreed. Yes.
They couldn't
100%.
stop the Jaylen Brown Porzingis pick and roll, and we just stopped running it. It was like
didn't do it anymore. Second half.
There was a great connection. It was actually like they were like developing this relationship of how to play off that pick and roll, Jaylen and Porzingis, and couple times.
You saw it a couple times in the next game.
Pulled up exactly.
Where they did the back door. Yeah.
Correct. We're like we find these things, and we get to the fourth quarter, and we just don't do any of it.
No.
And like what?
And we are terrible at burning time off the clock. We just can't do it. I don't know what it is.
But there's no need to burn time off the clock.
And they start changing the play and the speed of play so early.
That's what I'm saying.
Quarter, and I feel like it's a different game.
4 minutes left. It's like a 10-point game. They're like, all right, let's just waste time. We'll draw let's start drowning the shot clock down. It's like, no, run an offense. If there's 2 minutes left and you're up 12, then you can do that. But not 4 minutes, not 5 minutes, not a whole quarter. You can't. You have to keep playing the game. You can't start wasting time so early. It's so it's like Jason Tatum dribbles 18 seconds off the shot clock. There's 4 minutes left in the game. This is not drain the clock situation. This is run your offense and seal this game right now. So you don't even have to worry about that with 2 minutes to go because you're up big still. It's just.
And in the second half, Jason Tatum was 2 for 8 overall, 25%, 1 for 5 from 3. And a lot of that, like you said, dribbling around looking for his shot, wasting time. Like
not even dribbling around looking for a shot, just dribbling around, wasting time. It's like the clock. Well, we're up, we're winning, so let's just let the clock run down. Missed shot. Damian Lillard hits a quick 3. Come down. We're gonna slow down the tempo again. Dribble, waste all the time off the shot clock. We're winning, so let's just waste some time. No, it's too early for that. And and part of that's on Missoula, honestly. Like set up a play, call a play, run the offense, tell Kristaps to set a pick and slip back door. You have to do something.
But you don't see that in the second half as much as the first. No, it's kind of painful. It's very painful. I agree.
Every first half of these games, we look like the best team in
Better.
the NBA, which is
Agreed.
what we should be. And then
Yeah.
what happens? I don't understand.
Yeah. And I wait
All
for
right.
it every game. I'm like, oh no, here we go.
Well, with that, let's get to the last one. The old
okay.
Black Friday beating, we'll call it.
They're good.
Celtics lose to the Magic.
They're fun to watch.
113-96. They're the second place team in the East right now, or at least tied for it. 10-5.
I think their defense is very good. I think they are quick. I think they are athletic.
I mean,
I think they're very good.
I mean, I will say, all that being said, I agree that they're a good team. They're going to be in the playoffs this year. We both actually predicted that. That being said, I don't know what these guys were doing for Thanksgiving, but the Magic just wanted it more than the Celtics. I mean,
100%.
They were hustling their butts off the whole time, and the Celtics just did not look like they wanted to match that energy. Mo Wagner's just everywhere, diving on the floor, screaming, and we just looked out of it.
He's my player of the week.
Mo Wagner, yeah.
I'm like, that guy in the second half of this game made us look like dummies in the lane.
Yeah.
He just scored at will against us in the second half. Like at will.
But not just, I don't think it was just score. It was like he was doing it all. Offensive rebounds, defending, drawing charges, blocks. He was everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He's a big part of their team.
I just lost the box score. Yes, that last quarter was embarrassing. I just was doing everything I could to try and stay and watch it, but it was embarrassing. This was the one where the second half was this.
You know what the most frustrating thing is?
Second half. What?
Did you know that Mo Wagner was on the Celtics and we cut him?
He got cut. That's I say that all the time.
To sign Jabari Parker.
But that's how I felt last year in the Miami Heat with Max Strus. I'm like, and we cut him. It's like every time he played us, he played well.
I mean, he was like, no one knew what Strus was going to become. Like, Wagner was like a solidified NBA player by the time we cut him. I mean, that is crazy. We could use a guy like Wagner too. That's the worst part. 100%.
I said that a lot. Yeah, exactly. Completely agree with you. Yeah. So second half, it was just abysmal. It was Jaylen Brown. 1 for 14. Jaylen Brown was 1 for 14.
Yeah, he was terrible. He was really awful. Second half. He was great in the first half. He was unstoppable.
Yeah.
And
that was it.
Shooting, Jaylen. Stop shooting.
I know.
He just doesn't know when to stop. It's like when you have to understand that I know you were on fire in the first half, but now you're not.
Yeah. And you got to pass and you got to
stop.
Agreed.
He just kept chucking him up. It's brutal.
Yeah. So he was the one that he was minus. I mean, everybody. Jason Tatum.
Well, I mean, the other thing we do have to
25
talk about is the game really shifted when they announced Porzingis was out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One thing about Porzingis, I'm just gonna say, I'm not his biggest fan. I like him.
I think that's crazy.
When we use
such a game changer.
When we use him correctly. But if he hucks up another 3-point shot and isn't in there to get a rebound, his percentage is not that high.
Yeah, he shoots it well enough, I think. He takes a couple. I'd say
but we have enough 3-point shooters.
Sure.
We have enough. Like now I'm like, what is he doing up at the 3-point line? He is 7-something. Why does he not get more offensive rebounds? That kills me that he's not in there getting more offensive rebounds. So that's what I'm going to say. But yes,
agreed.
He moves well and passes well offensively. That is part of my point.
Never turns it over. He's just solid.
He's got good hands. He moves well. We need to continue to pass and play, making him score more in the paint.
Yes.
Those backdoor cuts, those 2 passes between the two, the way they played that
play where he does like the fake handoff. I don't remember what game it is. The fake handoff to Jalen, and then he goes by, then fakes it up and completely fools the guy twice. Spectacular. He's so fun to watch. I love Porzingis.
I
Won
do
me over
when
so fast.
he plays the right way. But if I have to see, and again, I have no problem with the 3 if we have been kicking it around and they leave him wide open up there. But there are times when we have just come down the court and he hucks it up.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's no one in there to rebound. And his percentage is not that high. Like that is just not how I want to see him play.
No, but that's how everyone
never be your shot. That should never be your shot. So that drives me crazy about him. But yes, his loss. And now he's out tonight. And he worries me. He's on the ground. He has started kind of flopping less. I will give him that. He used to be on the ground much more. But his injuries do worry me a little bit.
Yes, that's the big concern.
He's a tall,
as it is.
Skinny guy.
So it seems like this is, precautionary and they're just taking their time because they don't want it to be something serious. But being out, missing the second half of this game and now being out with a calf strain or whatever it is obviously that is the concern with him. A risk you have to be willing to take because he's
and I do like him. I just don't like how we always use him.
I mean, the first half of that Bucks game, he was just clearly the difference. The alley-oops, oh my goodness.
Agreed.
But back to the Magic game. Who struck again in this game is no timeout Missoula. 8-0, 12-0 run, 15-0, 17-0 run. Timeout. You don't play through a 17-0 run in the third quarter. It was 17-0.
Yes. It's painful.
10 timeout. There's no reason to not call a timeout there. 29 coaches in the NBA call a timeout there. And instead you let them score another 7 points and take the lead. 17-0 was the run.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just doesn't make any and then Scal constantly always just letting them play through it. It's like, no,
that's what you do. You straighten out
that's what
the wagon.
Only Missoula does. 29 other coaches are calling timeout as they should to stop the bleeding and reset. And
then you sit everybody down and you point to Jaylen Brown and you said, you shoot less. You stop shooting. You stop shooting because you're not shooting well.
Do something. Even we don't have to.
The worst part was, didn't you feel there was a little stretch where they turned the heat on and were playing hard defensively and they caused the turnovers and we had some chances and we missed our, layups and shots or whatever, but they were actually playing hard defense and we turned the ball over at the guard. And you're like, where was this in the third quarter? Where was this good defense previously? They can do it. They just didn't turn it on. But there were a few minutes there where they were like, uh-oh, we're going to lose this game. And they turned the heat on. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they started Derek White, really playing hard. And where was that during that 17-0 run? That was sort of a killer. But, our lane defense, without Porzingis in there and even sometimes with him, without Drew Holiday, who I think is our toughest defender. I think he does so much more on defense than you even realize. Agreed. He is just unbelievable. Oh, he's unbelievable. And I think without Porzingis and without our workhorse, the lane was just free for everybody to go through. Cole Anthony made it look easy. Everybody made it look easy. So that was an embarrassment for me too. Defense through the lane. Hey, come on in, everyone. I don't know, people losing people easily making moves. Mo Wagner had no one on him several times. Just went in and did his little layup or kind of layup hook shot thing. And there was nobody close, no contact, no nothing. Like, what? Where are you?
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just, I thought a very frustrating game overall. But you're right, Missoula and the lack of calling timeouts. Obviously, something is going very wrong in the way that they're playing, right? So this is when they need guidance. When you go on,
but not even if you do discount all of that, just to break up the momentum of the other team. Sometimes a hot shooter sits down for 2 minutes and he's not a hot shooter and he just stopped the bleeding. There's just no reason not to.
Or even saying, I want someone to hit Mo Wagner hard when he goes up. Like, I don't care. Foul him just one time, so it's not easy. Take the wind out of his sails.
And then some of these rotation things just drive me crazy too. Brissett just hasn't played the whole game and starts the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
What do you expect him to do? He hasn't played the whole game, and now you're going to start him for the fourth quarter? Like,
I think he's making a huge mistake right now, not picking somebody bigger and more aggressive to play a little more. I don't care who you pick, but now we need somebody in case Porzingis is out.
Although Luke Cornett did play well this game. Shout out Cornett.
But he's not really tough. That's the problem. Is he's not gonna bump around some bodies. And I mean, they crushed us on rebounds. Literally, they had 48 rebounds to our 31. Wait, is that right? They had
offensive rebounds.
31.
Yeah. What? I mean, the offensive rebound numbers have to be even worse than that, I'm sure. We
got 76 shots off in the entire game to their 85. 76 shots. Like, what is going on? Granted, there were a lot of fouls. We thought we shot a lot of free throws. I mean, that's how Tatum got most of his points. I think he was 12 for 13 at the line.
So well, they played tough. 26. They wanted it more. They were hitting us. They were tough. Yeah. We were not tough. The whole game, we looked like we didn't want to play.
Agreed. Yeah, that was a painful game.
Which to this team's credit, we get on them a lot for, these lackadaisical games, whether it be the Hornets or the group. They don't play up to some of the these mid-season games, and we talk about our frustrations. To these guys' credit, when the big games come, they do step up, and it is we can harp on them for getting lazy in these regular season. When the time comes, when push comes to shove, they do play tougher and they do step up. So
the problem I have is in those close games, running an offense and being more confident and in control.
Agreed.
So that is what they need to really work on.
Agreed.
Yes.
Close the game.
And another pet peeve of mine is when nobody is shooting well, like we were at the end of this game, and Peyton Pritchard comes in. Why aren't we giving him a few more? He shot twice the whole game. Now this is a pretty high percentage shooter, and Jaylen Brown can't hit a shot. In the second half, Jason Tatum wasn't hitting his
only played 13
shots.
minutes.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, why not have him go in for? And again, this was a big,
but that's what I mean,
aggressive team. But when he is in there, he should be shooting a little bit.
But that's what I mean with the Brissett thing. What do you expect him to do in 5 minutes at the beginning of the fourth quarter?
Yeah,
agreed. He hasn't played all game. He hasn't shot in 40 minutes since pregame.
He didn't take a shot.
That's what I'm saying. But what do you? He was a minus 11. What do you want from him? That's so silly to not. Play
and Derek
him at
White
all.
too has lost a little bit of steam for me offensively. I'm not quite sure what's going on with him the last.
He missed a game. Could just be a lull. I mean, again, it's streaky. He's always kind of had some ups and downs in terms of offensive production. I think
I didn't think he was very good in this game, especially offensively. I mean, he was okay.
Me neither, but
foul line a lot, 9 for 12. But I didn't think he was anything to. So, but again, I give Orlando credit. I think they're going to be really good. I think they are building a great team right there.
I agree.
I think they play hard.
And Ben Caro, I didn't even think he played. He was okay, but it's not. I didn't think he even played.
And he ended up with 23 points.
+7.
So, I think it was a quiet.
Agreed.
23. I mean, he only shot 16 times. Yeah. But I thought they moved the ball well. I thought that team did a good job keeping their offense going.
Still no reason the Celtics should lose to that team, which they kick our butt every time now. They kicked our butt twice last year. They kicked our butts twice this year.
It was so funny though. Scal didn't say anything about that. As he's talking about this team and what they need to do, and the Celtics should be able to. I'm like, do you not remember last year?
But twice.
Crushed twice. Yes. It was embarrassing last year. So yeah. Anyway,
all right.
Anything else
nope.
We already did player of the week.
Yeah, we both announced our player of the weeks coming up this week.
Mo's mine.
We got tonight starting in a little bit. Versus that, we all a home stretch coming. Hawks at home. Tuesday, Chicago at home. Final game of the in-season tournament. and Friday Sixers. You will be at that game as well. Back to Garden Watch. And then we got a little lull coming up for the in-season tournament, depending on how that goes. But what are you looking up? What are you looking for this week for the Celtics?
Looking forward to seeing the Sixers. I'm a little nervous about tonight because I think the Hawks can play well. I think they've had some games.
They're streaky shooters and stuff.
Yeah,
but we always destroy the Hawks. I don't know. I said this
8
a
and
million
7.
times.
They've won their last 2.
Yeah.
I
always say this though. Teams that really depend on their guards struggle against the Celtics because we just play so well against guards, especially undersized guards like Trey. We just, with our size and our ability to switch and move, I don't know. I feel like we always play the Hawks well, but you never know, they can get hot. And I'm looking forward to this week. Tuesday, Chicago. We are now in position to possibly be eliminated from the in-season tournament should we lose that game. So I'm interested to see what the rotation looks like and how we treat that game, because it's now, if you want to compete in the in-season tournament, that's now we're second place and that we can, Chicago beats us, we are eliminated, I believe, from the in-season tournament. So what does that look like?
And they're 5 and 12, so
yeah, sure. But is there an intensity there for both teams to, possibly advance in the in-season tournament? And I don't know what that's going to look like. It'll be interesting to see if these guys are motivated, because so this week is those games, Friday being our last game, but the whole next week is the in-season tournament. So if we're eliminated, we don't play for another 11 days.
Yeah.
I mean, do they want this tournament? I don't know what the vibe is going to be for that, because I'm just interested to see.
It is going to be interesting because remember, I don't know, Drew's questionable for tonight, so he's got a little ankle thing going on. I guess I don't know what injuries are nagging people, so it might be a little hiatus that they want for the rest of the season. I'm just saying that.
The league does not want that. The league wants guys really competing hard for this tournament. So I don't know if that factors in.
I mean, it doesn't seem like that's Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum's or Missoula's take on it. No. I think they are hardworking. They want to, but I do think, what is Porzingis? I mean, he's not playing tonight, was out last game. What is he going to be like? Is Drew's ankle really a serious,
he's questionable tonight. So
they may need.
Out, so it doesn't.
They
may
need a little lull. I
or
also
maybe,
wanted to mention
tonight,
the Western Conference.
Tonight.
Have you been keeping track about the Western Conference?
It is this. Yeah.
Nuggets are 5th now.
Yeah.
10 and 6.
Minnesota's first last time I checked. Correct.
Suns have won their last 6.
They have 6 in a row.
So they're 3rd. Thunder are 2nd.
They're really good. I'm interested to see them. I haven't watched them this year.
Yeah. And the Timberwolves, which we played, and they're good. They're a good
Beat
team.
us.
We lost. Yeah, no, they are. But just so interesting over there, like the
Wild
Lakers,
West. It always is.
7th, Kings 6th. I mean, yeah, kind of
Warriors
crazy.
Really struggling.
Yep. But anyway, just kind of crazy over in the West. So I do want to catch a few games to see how people are doing. But Suns have shocked me. 6 games they won. So
yeah, so Christmas time we head west.
Yeah.
So our first West Coast road trip is we played the Lakers on Christmas, but a little before that we got at Golden State, at Sacramento, at Clippers. So that's the first West Coast trip of the year.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, it'll just is very intriguing now. The Thunder
up and coming. Up. Yeah.
I'm not sure where I had the Thunder in my predictions. I'm not sure.
Not sure. I was looking at mine. I was way down on the Sixers. I thought the Harden thing would still be going on. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Was way off on a couple of those, but yeah, Thunder.
Anyway, fun, still fun, but like I said, work on that defense. Controlling the ball in the fourth quarter. Yeah, we got some things to work on.
Lots of season to go. Still early.
And I need head case contract Jaylen Brown to settle down. Come on. Settle down a little. Find your role. Play strong and do not read anything
That's-
about yourself. Shut social media off right now. You got to. And if I'm Missoula, I'm saying forget the points per game at this point. Just play well. Come off a game feeling like you played your best, made good judgment calls,
defense.
and
Make an all defense
exactly.
team.
Yes,
So athletic.
100%.
Stop
Rebounds.
falling asleep on the weak
Yes.
side.
Yeah,
Goodness.
yeah. So I think he needs a little pep talk, or he needs to go see a counselor or somebody like
A little counselor.
little
Sports
counselor.
psychologist.
He and Mac Jones need to go see
Well, Mac Jones.
a counselor. I know. I feel bad for that.
Mac Jones needs to see a real estate firm because he might be selling it next year.
Yep. Not all quarterbacks succeed. I just think that's a thing.
He's not going to be one of them.
No.
He's not going to be one of them.
All right.
But that's for another podcast.
Yep.
This has been your edition of Shamrock Talk for the week of November 27th. This will be coming out at 6 a.m. Fresh off the press once again next week. Actually release them at 5 a.m. But I say 6. You never know what's going to happen.
You've been getting up at 5?
No, I schedule it to.
Oh. I was like, wow.
5 Eastern too. That's 3 a.m. here. So
yeah,
no,
I was pretty impressed there.
No, I post it tonight and it just sends out automatically.
Gotcha.
But yep, you can find us on all the channels worldwide at Shamrock Talk Pod, on Twitter at Shamrock Talk, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Let's get our YouTube numbers up, people. Not a lot of YouTube action going on. So if you want to see our beautiful faces with the pod, you're gonna have to go to YouTube. I'm gonna get some clips out this week from this week's pod. We'll get some guests on. I talked to Joe this week. He will be returning. Talk to some other guests. If you're listening to this and you would like to be on Shamrock Talk, message me, message us, message any of our channels. We'll find it. We'll get you on. That's all I got.
Sounds good. I got a game to watch.
Got a game to watch.
Go Celtics.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight. I might watch tomorrow morning. It's getting a little late here.
Yeah. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics. We'll see you next week.